Hey guys, this is Mr. Lucid LJ here, back with another audio commentary for you guys today. I just thought I'd come up here and talk a little bit about wrestling. It's kind of been a good while since I've done like an audio commentary talking about wrestling. I was planning to do a video and upload it and have it done before the WWE Payback pay-per-view, but talking about like 15 top matches that we could have seen as not elimination chambers, as 3 stages of the hell match, but for technical issues that just didn't happen. The second part didn't record and just being really busy over the weekend, but I thought I'd come up here and talk about something a little different. I thought I'd come up and talk about the whole Dolph Ziggler situation, turning face now. I mean, this guy, like, he's kind of had a pretty rough going in the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, for me, I think he's been used dreadfully in the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, he's had certain situations where he's had time to flourish, had some good feuds and stuff, had a bit of a feud with like Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston obviously, John Morrison, Edge and Punk for the world title, but overall I just think this guy doesn't seem right and just isn't used right whatsoever. I'm not necessarily saying he should or shouldn't be a main eventer, but like the character and everything, just everything is wrong about Dolph Ziggler at the moment. I'll just talk about little things that really annoy me at the moment, like his character. His character is supposed to be this show-off gimmick, and the guy gets shown less on TV than certain guys, like, some jobber guys and stuff. You see 3MB on frickin' Raw and all this kind of shit more than Dolph Ziggler. He's supposed to show off, so he should be shown more as a main player. If you're gonna book him and push him like that, don't have a gimmick where his gimmick is I'm the show off and he always wants to be there when he hardly gets seen. Now I understand recently with the concussion gimmick and the concussion angle and his actual real life concussion that he couldn't be there because he was kind of fucked and stuff, but I just think when he was there, he just didn't get enough time, and his gimmick doesn't seem right. If he wants to be the show-off, he needs to kind of show us as fans why he is the show-off. I know he can do good in-ring matches and shit like that, but I'm not talking about that. Show something special in a match to say, wow, that's kind of showing off, but do it in the heel way that his character is supposed to be portrayed as the show-off. Or just try and figure out a total brand new different gimmick for him, because obviously it's not working. It's just not helped him to get over as a heel, but that's WWE's fault in my eyes and not 100% his fault. He's not been given the amount of time to show off on TV and possibly the right gimmick, so the gimmick has to be sorted out. That's the main issue. Maybe just have it as Ziggler or Dolph as his name, I don't know, but maybe change it up or just make it to the gimmick it was supposed to be made for. Another thing, a big thing about Dolph Ziggler, this guy just doesn't get enough promo time whatsoever on TV. I think his promos are like really stiff and stale kind of stuff. He doesn't seem to have that kind of connection like certain people have. I'm not saying he has to be the best of all time, but even as a mid-carder, it's not great promos he's able to do. Like, it just seems kind of forced and it seems kind of phony when he's talking on the mic. So that's the big thing he needs. Like, he needs to go and practice on promos and stuff, and get over the fact that he is a heel. Well, when he was a heel, he should have got over the fact that he is a heel, but now as a face, he's going to have to try something totally different and kind of change his style totally. So he really needs to work on that. He's always seemed to have like managers and people backing him and talking for him. Like, he had Vicky for a good year or two as well, and this is a time to go on his own. He had AJ now as well recently doing promos and stuff for him. So I really think this guy needs to go and work on promos. He kind of reminds me like Bret Hart in like the early 90s, that he wasn't great on promos but eventually got better on the mic. So promos he has to work on. He has to go into the ring, cut promos there, backstage promos, just all different variations of promos. So that's a big thing that he needs to work on in the next 6 months to a year. He's been in the company 5 years now, and where has it really gotten him? Let's just go over some of his accomplishments. He's a one-time Money in the Bank winner. He was a tag team champ when he first debuted under the Spirit Squad, and I don't even know how many actual matches he had as a tag champ, in ring and stuff like that. So, that's kind of a bad thing. It was kind of overshadowed when they had the tag titles back then. It was kind of like, rotating between different guys and stuff like that. So that wasn't too great. His IC champ run, it was lengthy, but it was very repetitive. We've seen a lot of matches pretty much against Kofi Kingston the whole time. And for me, it started to get kind of stale and boring. And then when he changed it up a little bit, he pretty much lost it then much after. So it wasn't great. He had lengthy runs, but he didn't really do much for the title. And it's kind of the same story with the US Championship. He just had the title and just didn't seem to kind of go anywhere. It just kind of seemed the same old shit from Dolph Ziggler. He was put in the same kind of matches, the same kind of position. Some matches and pay-per-views, he wasn't even on the card, like he was a dark match or whatever, or he just wasn't even booked for the show. So you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of really kind of stupid the way WWE positions him as these champions and stuff. And then he's like a 2-time world champion now already. And the problem with that is that the first time was just complete and utter bullshit. It was like an 11-minute fucking deal on SmackDown 2 years ago with Edge, and then he lost the title back. And then this year with the whole having the concussion, he only had it 2 months and defended it. I think he defended it once on Raw against Daniel Bryan or something, and then he had the pay-per-view match against Del Rio and loses. So I just kind of feel like his use as a champion is just really poorly used and stuff, and it's not really helped him get over it at any stage. I mean, people say he's got a good look, gimmick's not great, but he's got a good look, he's got a good physique, but is that enough to be a main eventer or even a good mid-carder, I mean, Mr. Perfect had a good look, but he had good mic skills, he had good character, he had a lot more than Dolph Ziggler, and same for Billy Gunn. I think Billy Gunn's probably better on the mic, even a better look than Ziggler, a bigger guy, taller, just as athletic. So I mean, people shit on Billy Gunn, but is Dolph Ziggler any better in anyone's eyes? I personally think he's around the same level. So they need to position him better as a champion, whether it be as a tag champ, mid-card, or world champ. What else can he talk about this guy? I mean, as Money in the Champ, briefcase holder, I thought he was very poor as well. He was booked to lose all the time until the month or so he actually cashed in for the Money in the Bank. He pretty much lost every single match until that point, and I just felt like, why are you making him lose and have a losing streak to try and get him over to the next level, which just made no sense in my eyes. He lost to certain guys and mid-carders. He just never seemed to be doing anything. I just don't understand this WWE. Why do you do this to guys? Why do you put them in these positions just so that they end up failing? He never feuded with upper mid-card and main events. The only main event guy really he feuded with was John Cena. I think he feuded with Randy Orton, but I think he lost on pay-per-view against him. So, have him at least get one win over these guys. He had the one win over Cena, but what did that actually do until he actually cashed in? Then there was a 3 or 4 month period where he was just doing nothing again. He had the briefcase, he has Langston, he has AJ, he gets shown a little bit on TV, but he's not doing enough for me to draw into his character, get invested, all that kind of shit. And it basically means I don't care about Ziggler because WWE has made me not care. So so a lot of it's down to WWE. I mean, I put some blame on the guy, his mic skills should be better. His in-ring is good, but there's certain things that I don't like about his in-ring. He bumps a little bit too much. He kind of oversells stuff a little bit too much as a wrestler. And, that can be a bit of a problem to try and get over and, be credited as a good mid-card, possibly upper mid-card main event kind of guy. So, he kind of needs to change his style a little bit. He needs to change it from, still bump, but not onto the degree he does and oversells and stuff, but change it to more of that, main event kind of style where it will connect to more of an audience and people will invest in you. I'm just saying, WWE, do something to make him change in the next 6 months to a year. because at the moment I'm feeling that Dolph Ziggler is just a big failure. I'm feeling like it was just a waste of time putting the money on the bank on it, the money in the bank on him, and not actually doing anything. It's a pointless title reign. His character is getting stale. Just a random babyface turn. Promos are not good enough. You know, there's just too many problems with him at the moment. And for me, it's like, you know, he's not getting any younger either. The guy's like, what, 32, 33 soon? You know, this is the time he should be shining in the main event spotlight, you know? Not being just, like, pissed around and fucking used poorly and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, the other thing is, it was just, you know, too many repetitive matches. We've seen fucking Kofi Kingston and him about 50 times on TV and God knows how many times on house shows, and it was just getting too much for me. It was the same pretty much outcome. There was a period Kofi was winning for a while when he was champion, and then he dropped the belt, and then it was just all Dolph Ziggler. So it just got boring and stale. I just think Dolph Ziggler needs something in the next 6 months to a year, or you may kind of move on and go with someone else, because I just feel like this is kind of WWE's MO. They kind of seem to set up guys to fail, and you know, that's not really a good thing for the long term WWE, because in the long term you're just fucking yourselves pretty much. So, you know, I think it really needs to change, the attitude, the mentality. You know, you're building these guys supposedly for the next 5 to 10 years. You know, and then there's obviously other guys coming in the training, in the FCW and shit like that. So, you know, you're gonna have to build these guys up right. Don't build up guys to have them put in these positions where you know that they're going to fail, and then say, oh, it's their fault, when it's really WWE's fault for positioning them in these certain positions, which is just, it doesn't make sense. They've done it to so many guys, and you know, some have recovered from it, others have just been totally buried. I mean, I won't say Dolph Ziggler has been buried. I just think he's been poorly used and booked and pushed, and you know, TV and everything written just dreadfully for him. Nothing interesting, no good feuds, nothing that really makes me want to say, I want to see Dolph Ziggler. Apart from his in-ring work, what else is there to Dolph Ziggler that people can get behind? Just something quickly I'd like to talk about just before I end the video, that some of the stats on his win-loss record. Let's just talk about 2012. He had a total of 191 matches. Now, a good few of them, at least 100, 120, were probably, you know, house show matches and stuff. But for the overall year, even including house show, he only won 36 times. And that for me is a really telling statistic, that even that a show might not be on TV, like a house show or whatever, that they're not even confident to have Ziggler win on a house show where only people in the crowd will see it, and it's not actually broadcast over live TV. So 36 out of 191 is just, it's crazy. I mean, for a guy you're supposed to be pushing, you know, fairly decent, you know, in the past year, supposedly, his win record should be a hell of a lot more. It should be 100, 120. It should be over 50%, because you're pushing him to that main event level as a heel. You know, I know heels are not supposed to win as much as baby faces, but I don't really care. I just think it's like a dreadful statistic about the guy, and it's just making people not give a shit. And it's kind of continued this year. So far he's had 79 matches. Obviously he's been injured, obviously some of them are house shows or whatever, but it's the same kind of shit again. You have 15 wins out of 79. It's just not good enough. If you want to build up this guy and make him one of your main players, you're doing a dreadful job of doing it. So WWE, please cop on, please sort this shit out. I think I like the guy, but you're making me as a fan, and I think you're making other fans not give a shit about Ziggler. For me, turning him babyface is not going to do anything. I don't really care if he runs for the title, because you've built him up so dreadfully that you need to kind of totally rebuild him, kind of maybe put him to the mid-card and build him up again, but this time do it right and don't bury him and build him back down. So anyway, this is Mr. Lucid LJ. Hopefully we'll see some more videos over the summer. I plan to do a lot more stuff, but I just had to talk about this. I just think it's crazy how WWE does this kind of shit all the time, and fans don't seem to care. So Peace. Good luck. Bye bye.